And he had told me that if you've been invited to a meeting, you better say something during that meeting, even if it means saying one sentence. Your only contributions to a meeting should not be taking notes and booking the meeting room in advance of the meeting. What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 3 ways in which the trading flow and the time that I spent on the trading floor at Goldman Sachs in New York City headquarters helped me develop a pair of balls, and how that pair grew progressively as time went on. I honestly consider myself to have been extremely lucky to have spent 18 months on Goldman Sachs' trading floor in the New York City headquarters. Today, a lot of people call me confident, they call me vocal, they call me charismatic. I would honestly say that a big chunk of whatever confidence that I have is attributed to my experiences on the trading floor. There's no place like the trading floor in pushing you out of your comfort zone, in making you feel comfortable feeling uncomfortable. And I'll comprehensively explain the ways in which the trading floor did that for me. But before I do so, एक announcement है, एक शिकायत है आप लोग से. देखिए, I think 75% of the people who are watching my videos, based on the analytics that I've seen so far, have not subscribed to my channel. So देखो, if you're liking my content, एक request है, please do subscribe to the channel, because this small gesture on your part definitely goes a long way in fueling my motivation and giving me the impetus to keep churning out new content for you guys on a consistent basis. So the first time that I entered a trading flow, which was on my first day at Goldman Sachs, I was left absolutely astonished and gobsmacked. I think even astonished and gobsmacked are understatements when it comes to describing how I truly felt. That's how unique the scene was. It felt like I was a part of a movie set. The noise, the enthusiasm, the energy, the activity, the hustle, the bustle, the sheer size of the trading floor as well. All of these factors combined made the trading floor a very unique environment and a very compelling spectacle for someone who was looking at the trading floor for the first time. You can probably tell based on the picture that you're seeing on your screen right now that the trading floor is unique in terms of its structure. There are absolutely no partitions between people, right? There's no hiding place. Everyone is quite literally exposed. People are sitting in long lines. The trading floor is the size of about 2 football fields combined. And so everyone can watch your actions. Everyone can hear you despite all the noise that's out there. People are sitting to your left, to your right, in front of you, behind you, and everyone jostled together, everyone clustered together. The other thing that you might notice is that every single desk has a monster phone placed in front of it. And these phones aren't just your usual ordinary run-of-the-mill phones. These are monster giant phones which have lots of features, and they're actually fairly complicated, so much so that it might take a day or 2 or perhaps weeks as well for you to get the hang of them. And these phones are such that they don't just have your line, but they have the lines of every single member that belongs to the team to which you belong. And on the trading floor, the phones are constantly ringing. They're constantly buzzing, especially during market hours between 9:30 in the morning and 4 p.m. And oftentimes, whenever seniors on your team might be off the desk, they might not be present, that's when you as a junior person have to answer the phone on their behalf. And look, things on the trading floor, especially during market hours, are extremely time sensitive. If someone is calling and requires an answer to something, you better give them the answer as quickly as possible. You can't just say, oh, you know what, my manager's off the desk right now, but once he gets back, I'll let him know that you had called. They need the answer right away. So the trading floor really teaches you how to figure shit out. And when I say figure shit out, I don't mean trying to conquer everything by yourself, but finding where the answers lie. Like beg, borrow, steal if you have to, call up 100 people if you have to, but get the answer to the person as quickly as possible. Initially, when you're speaking over the phone and you're cognizant of the fact that everyone around you, people in front of you, behind you, to your left, right, everyone around you can hear you, you're typically fairly insecure, only because you're very conscious of the fact that people might be eavesdropping on the conversation that you're having. And you oftentimes sound extremely stupid and naive when you're first speaking over the phone during your initial few months and days on the trading floor. But then you slowly but surely develop a thick skin. As I'd alluded to earlier in the video as well, you slowly but surely start becoming comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to realize, or you have to admit the fact that, when you're first starting out, you are a fucking chutia. You are a fool. But as Carl Jung once said, the fool is the precursor to the savior. Before you become the savior, before you become the hero, you have to become the fool. No one goes from 0 to hero in one go. No one goes from 0 to 100 in one go. Drake सब लोग नहीं है जो 0 to 100 चले जाता है. You have to start as a chutia, then you go to a little less of a chutia, and then you eventually become a savior. And as long as you're cognizant of this evolution process that you go through, you don't feel as insecure or conscious when you're going through that phase from chutia to a savior or to a hero. And as you develop more and more confidence, there will be days when you feel very confident. You feel like, I can be a big swinging dick. I belong here. And on those days, you notice that, you're overly loud, overly vocal over the phone when you're speaking. You're louder than you have to be, and you don't care if people are listening, because people on the trading floor do not consider being loud as being obnoxious. People like that fact. People are like, this kid has something about him. He has this edgy personality that I like, and he isn't just a fucking regular, naive wimp who's come to the trading floor. There's something different about this kid. So people respect that as opposed to finding it obnoxious. So when you feel confident, definitely make it known. These shows of confidence do get noticed by people, albeit in very subtle ways. The second factor that played a fairly big role in helping me develop my confidence was this encounter with a vice president, a mentor of mine, someone I looked up to that I had early on during my time at Goldman Sachs. And he had told me that if you've been invited to a meeting, you better say something during that meeting, even if it means saying one sentence. Your only contributions to a meeting should not be taking notes and booking the meeting room in advance of the meeting. People don't judge you when you're first starting out. You have the license to say dumb things, to ask dumb and outrageous questions. And while you're holding this license, take advantage of that fact to come out of your comfort zone, because you know that no one is going to judge you. In fact, when you're holding this license, people will respect the person who's asking dumb and outrageous questions more than the person who's remaining mum, who's saying nothing, because the person who's saying nothing is just on the sidelines. He or she is a spectator. He or she is not even playing the fucking game. At least the person who's asking those dumb questions is playing the game. He or she might be sucking at the game, but at least he's a participant in the game. You can't hedge yourself 100%. If you're taking absolutely no risk, then you're getting no fucking reward. Risk and reward, as they say, go hand in hand. So when I would be invited to these meetings, I used to enter the meetings with a bunch of pre-prepared questions that I would rehearse a million fucking times before the meeting. But then that was part of the evolution process, and slowly but surely, as I developed more and more confidence, I developed the confidence to actually ask questions on the spot, impromptu, without necessarily having to rehearse these questions before asking them. And I talked about this briefly early on in the video. That's part of the evolution process. You don't go from 0 to 100. Sab log bhencho Drake nahi hai. You go from chutia to a little less chutia, and then you eventually become a fucking stud boy. Once people start noticing that you're exhibiting a lot more confidence, then people feel more confident in delegating more challenging tasks to you. People feel that, you are someone who is reliable. And once you notice this vote of confidence from others, that's when you become even more confident as well. So, that's how the virtuous cycle works. You feel as if, I can make it at a place like Goldman Sachs. You feel that, I belong to this fucking place, and I'm not just the scummiest of the scum, but I have it in me to keep rising up in the hierarchy. I have it in me to one day be a big swinging dick. That's going to give you the impetus to not be naive and meek and docile and submissive, but to enter action with boldness. I was reading this book last night called 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson, and I think what I just talked about is beautifully summed up in this paragraph that I'm going to read out. People, including yourself, will start to assume that you are competent and able, or at least they will not immediately conclude the reverse. Emboldened by the positive responses you are now receiving, you will begin to be less anxious. Your conversations will flow better with fewer awkward pauses. This will make you more likely to meet people, interact with them, and impress them. Doing so will not only genuinely increase the probability that good things will happen to you, it will also make those good things feel better when they do happen. And the third and final factor that I want to talk about is a slightly unusual one, but main jo bolunga, sach ke siwa kuch nahi bolunga. Look, there weren't too many Indians on the trading floor. Indians, proper Indians, not those chutia fake ABCDs. And the Indians who were present were in technical roles that required more coding and less talking. And so look, I did not want to contribute to that Indian stereotype of being quiet and nerdy and shy and technically very gifted, but not quite being very fluent when it came to talking and communicating, especially doing so confidently. And so I was like, I don't want to be viewed as being cut from the same cloth as a lot of the other Indians who were present. I wanted to distinguish myself. I wanted to seem unique. And people did start noticing that, there's something different about this kid. People wouldn't even believe the fact that I had spent the first 18 years of my life in India and came to America for the first time in 2011. People felt that, there was something exotic about me. There was something different about me. So hope you enjoyed the experiences that I talked about. In the comment section, please let me know in case you can relate to any of the experiences that I spoke of. Of course, your work environment may be different compared to the trading floor environment that I worked in, but in case you think that there are parallels between some of the experiences that you had that helped you develop more confidence at work and some of the experiences that I talked about, please do share them with me in the comment section. Even if you think there are no parallels, do definitely let me know the ways in which you became more confident at work. A lot of you have actually reached out to me with suggestions in terms of the content that you would like to see on this channel. Kudos to you, thumbs up, that's helping me a lot. I'm still in the process of fine-tuning and tweaking my content strategy. So all of your suggestions are highly, highly appreciated. So keep them coming. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Subscribe kar do channel if you're liking the content that you're seeing so far. I will continue to drive value-adding content your way on a consistent basis. This is my promise. So hopefully you've liked what you've seen so far, and it's only going to get bigger and better from here on. And lastly, do not forget to check out my ebook. It's available at a 60% discount right now. So before the discount period is over, do grab your copy. Thank you so much for having joined me for this video. Until next time, cheers.